Our home.
Fair enough.
So I love just getting to sit here and actually talk about music with you. Our new album is called I Said I Love You First. This album didn't even feel like making an album because we we recorded 99.9% of it here.
Yeah. I forget what day exactly it was when you came up to me and said that you had the idea, or an idea, for I Love You First.
I remember you playing me a demo. We were driving and you were playing me a demo and you were so sad. And I was like, I was wondering why you're so sad. And you actually, like, a tear came from your eye.
Really?
Yeah. And
why do I have no recollection?
And I remember you saying, you were like, I don't know if I can do music anymore. And you were like, I feel like I've said everything and done everything I want to do. And you're so fortunate that you have been in it for so long and released so many different types of things.
Yeah,
and,
now I remember that.
Yeah, and then I remember having a meeting with my managers and my label, maybe half a week after that. And I had all these songs that were awesome that I was putting out as singles for myself, but I felt like they didn't really represent where I was. And I was like, well, these songs, they're not about my life. They're about so many different things now because my life has changed so much. I remember having this aha moment where I was listening to Bonnie and Clyde by Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I was like, wait, it'd be so cool if we did an album together. And I remember when I came and asked you, I was so nervous because
That's so funny.
But I remember exactly where I was. I was on the phone with you. And I was in that room. I was like, why don't we just do something together? And then you were like, really? You're like,
I know, but I also was nervous too, equally.
Yeah.
Because that's a big, not only do I respect you as a person, but I respect you as an artist. And it's a big deal and something to take on that it's on a different level than I do. And it was kind of duh afterwards, but I was just a little nervous, I guess. Is that normal?
Yeah, no, I definitely was nervous because I didn't want it to affect our relationship. And I remember saying it to you.
Yeah.
First off, I was like...
But I think we're at the point where, if it did, we would say something.
Well, that's what we said. And I remember when we first got in and we started doing it, obviously I've worked with you so many other times, it just flowed so quickly and easily. I remember just being able to sit with you and you'd wake up from a dream and then we'd talk and we'd write it all down. It would be a journal session and it just, everything started flowing so well. And I felt like, A, it was the best music we could have made together, and B, it made me feel even closer to you, not only because we could be in the same room and play all day.
Yeah, but we get to do what we love with who we love.
Yeah, and I felt like I could just, I could ask you anything because it's in the context of a song. You're like, well, how did you feel in this situation in your life? How did you feel? And also, it made me realize how good our communication skills are.
Well, yeah, I don't feel like it was hard in any way because I understood your kind of point of view of things. And I think you're just really helpful. You're not extremely critical. You're able to pull out what makes my voice unique. And I don't know, I guess I did trust that process. Obviously, yeah, I think our communication is great. I love you. I don't know, I wanted to make sure we were good. And
yeah,
it just seemed very effortless. I don't think people know how long if we did it in such a short, this is probably the quickest album I've ever done.
It's definitely the quickest album
you've done. Is it the same for you?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it seemed towards the end, it was starting to get crazy that we had all this material. And
most albums take 8 years. It takes me so long to do an album. Also, I felt like we had the same sensibilities. Usually when you're doing an album with someone, you're butting heads so many different times. I felt like very rarely would we butt heads. And then if we did on something, you would have like a perfect response. And I was like, fuck, all right, I guess we're not doing that song. Like, and it would just like made sense, and it was easy, and it felt good.
I think it was because there wasn't really an ego between us.
Yeah, it was definitely a
It's helpful.
leave your ego at the door.
So do you know how to get us there?
No, but I will. Oh, yeah.
So, how we became a couple, in my eyes, if I may share.
Okay.
It was when we were doing a song called Single Soon. When you came into the studio, I don't know, you started talking and we were breaking the ice, but it wasn't just, the reason why I felt comfortable is because it wasn't just a conversation between me and you privately. It was like a group of people, and I felt comfortable around those people.
Yeah.
And you texted me that you had a good time, and I texted you back.
When I went in there, I wasn't even thinking about like dating you. I was literally.
Well, neither was I.
No, but I was literally trying to hook you up with my friends.
Yeah, that's
I remember I was like, oh, you should so come over for dinner. I have like a lot of really good single friends. And I was explaining to you like dates I was going out on and stuff. And
Yeah, no, I was actually doing the same thing, but I don't know, I liked you.
Yeah, and I remember we started talking after, and I was like, I just thought it was like a casual thing, and you were like sending me selfies, and I was talking to you.
But wait, in context, I wasn't just like dropping the selfies. In fairness, the reason I actually looked back on the first selfie I sent you, and it was a joke because we were talking about how I was like, oh, I look shitty in the photo, so I sent you all the worst pictures of myself.
I liked it.
But what girl would send the ugliest photos of themselves to someone they like? But I liked you.
The love
and
of
you
my
were
life was.
I know, but you were so fun, and you're like, no, that one doesn't count. And then you would say, okay, then you would laugh at some, and then you'd be like, what were you doing? But then there was one that you'd be like, actually, that's hot.
Did you look back at all of it?
I did. I have, and I did. And they were only horrible pictures. So in my defense, I wasn't being like, hey, here's the cutest picture of myself. Cowboy is my version of Good For You, but now. I don't like to share it a lot, but I'm a very sensual person. And I love, and sometimes I put that into words, and it can feel sexy, and I love that feeling.
It's a sexy song. No, it's great. I feel like it's back to a sound that you kind of created. You kind of created this whole like whisper pop melancholy type of thing.
Which I totally respect. People like or dislike, and I totally get that.
And I feel like it's a cool nod back to like where you came from. Yeah, I feel like writing a song is like also being like in therapy. So you can say things. I feel like it's like almost like a safe place. You can say things that you would like never tell a person, let alone like your partner. And it was really cool to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could kind of almost say anything. It's like, it's like saying your deepest, darkest secret, but it almost like doesn't count because it's in a song. It was really interesting getting to learn things about you that I'm not sure I'd be able to get out if we were in like a different arena.
Yeah, that was so crazy that while we were doing this album, we just told each other, because mind you, the whole album isn't just about my life, it's about your experiences, our experiences together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we decided to name the album, it was actually, again, your idea. You had a few ideas that you had texted me, but that one was what stood out for me. Because it's sweet.
Well, and because it's true.
I know. Yeah.
She said I love you first.
I did.
How did you name all your other albums?
It actually depended on the song that I felt most connected to, but what's crazy is that I've never my mind changes so often. So it's really an in the moment kind of feeling. Rare. I have so much to say about that. It was the perfect depiction, I think, of where I was in my life. Because I've always been vulnerable, always been honest, whatever, how people take that as a good thing or a bad thing. Rare to me was actually everything I would say. I don't have it all, but I do know that I'm worth it, and I know that I deserve to feel that feeling.
Yeah, and now it became like
Everything.
It's just
my
like
world.
everything. Yeah, and it is such a
baby.
good. It's one of those things where you're like, fuck, why didn't someone say this sooner? Like, it's like I hear that in a song, and I'd be like, oh, or like as an idea, you know?
I will say, though, there's not a song quite like Who Says. I'm sorry I'm throwing it back, but Rare was a second version of that to me. And that song means so much to me. I was 16, and to this day, if anyone sings it to me, it brings me to tears because I needed that just as much as they did. So to be able to sing that with a group of however thousands of people and saying those words out loud, chanting that no one can tell or define who you are, was the coolest feeling. And that's what I got with Rare.
Now, what were you feeling when you did a song like Who Says? Like, were you even thinking like, oh my God, I'm gonna be like a big singer?
No, I don't think that's what I thought. I think that I understood the gravity of the song. Because I remember at the time, the writer was deciding between a few artists. I didn't write that song, but I was 16. I heard the song and I knew the importance of it because of how I felt. So when I heard the song, I remember I kind of asked the writer, I said, this song would mean so much to my fans. That's like the first thing I thought of. And they went with, I just tried it and they went with me, and I was really grateful because I had no idea that it would mean that much to other people as much as it did for me, but I was glad that it happened. But wait, I feel too weird. What about you? How do you name your albums? I actually have never asked you that.
Well, for my own album, obviously I've helped name a lot of albums, for other people, but for myself, honestly, I came up with Friends Keep Secrets, also the name of my label.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I was trying to think of it. I was like, well, what's like a pop punk band? And I was like, I thought like if I came up with a really good pop punk band, I remember I was gonna name my label and all my albums Everybody Gets a Trophy, like like when you're in like soccer. But I was just trying to think of stuff, and it doesn't even really go with my motto because I'm not like a secrets type of guy. But
You're really not.
But I think
You're
it's like,
honest all the time.
Yeah, I think
Too
it's
honest.
like if you know, you know type of thing. I also like things where it's like, I like naming songs where it's like, not the song title isn't even in the song, or like the album title isn't even a song on the album.
Really?
Yeah. Like Friends Keep Secrets is not a song on any of my albums, or it's like not in any lyrics. And I always like, I don't know, I'm always weird like that. I also like don't love videos when, like music videos when they're lip syncing. Like I like it
What do
better.
you mean?
I like it better when it's not lit. Like if you look, like 90% of my music videos have no lip sync in them.
I guess you're right.
One of our first songs, we did a little video for it at Disneyland because we love Disneyland so much. It's actually one of Selena's like favorite places on earth.
It makes me incredibly happy.
I'm a huge roller coaster fan, not a big teacups fan. You put me on the roller coaster, flip me, dip me, do whatever you want to me.
That's true.
But you put me on the teacups and I'm a shell of a human being.
It was really fun to torture you in that way for a second.
Yeah, she loves to torture me.
I do not.
And she won't leave Disneyland without one of two things. It either has to, actually three. It has
Yes,
to either be
give
a
my
pickle, a corn dog, a huge leg of turkey, or all three combined.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the three at the same time.
What was our first party we ever went to?
I don't know if this was the first, but it was actually really funny. As a couple, we went to Taylor's party after some award show. I don't know, it was kind of cute, but I was mortified. Apparently cool people don't show up to parties on time.
We're the first people at every single party when I go with you. You like show up when like my mother shows up to a party. No, I thought you were gonna talk about the fact that nobody knew we were dating and we were hiding the fact that we were dating. So we like didn't even like touch each other or like really look at each other because you're like if like a girl came up to me or something, you were like, okay. Definitely our best date ever. Well, there's a lot of things competing, but what I think our best day ever is like when we were first dating and we were still keeping it like super secret. I remember I was like, let's go to the Santa Monica Pier. And you were like, we can't go to the Santa Monica Pier. And I was like, well, what if we dress up in disguises?
Which usually never works.
No, but we did like full, because we were so scared of people finding out about us. I remember feeling like having so much fun being with you because we could just fully let go and not worry about anything else. And we like rode the Ferris wheel and we got like,
it was
like
so cute.
Corn dogs and cotton candy, and it was so...
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the disguise thing is so stupid, but in this case it actually worked, which was crazy, but I really didn't care. I was like so happy. I was in a state of ecstasy.
It was amazing.
It was so fun. When I first thought we were on a date, I'm not even kidding, it was like you were sitting right there, and I thought it was a date, so I had dressed up, and you were here, and we kept our, whatever it was, relationship or getting to know each other secret for, not secret, we just kept it in privacy. And this is kind of where we first started connecting. This is where we had our first kiss. It's where we made the album.
I think it's special because we have a little studio set up. It's like so humble, nothing for real. And we go in there and then, you know, we get to go back into our cocoon of our bedroom, think about what we did. Like, it's like, oh, we're in here making a thing. And then it's like, oh, I guess I'll go cook some food. Oh, I guess you're in bed. Oh, I guess you're back. Like, it was one of those things where...
I guess I can say I've never made an album that way.
Yeah, and it was interesting because, you know, sometimes we record vocals late. She would record vocals, then like go to sleep. Then I'd be working on them. Then I'd come wake her up. She'd come back into the room and record them again.
Yeah.
And there was like a comfort to doing it this way.
Yeah, and I feel like we weren't, like at the same time, we weren't down each other's throat about anything. It was like we were talking about everything. So if I had an issue in the studio or, I don't know, I needed your advice or your direction on something, it was so nice to be able to just text you and you'd be there. But I felt really comfortable, probably too comfortable making this album.
Yeah, it's crazy.
At a house.
I just feel like your guard is down when you're in a house. It's different. You're not like in a studio and they're like, hey, let me take your order. Like, you're in a house, your guard's down. We had our friends come over to make the album. We weren't thinking like, oh my God, like this album is, I didn't even know anyone was gonna hear this at first. I just thought it was a good idea and exercise to try to do. And you don't typically like people in the room while you're doing your set.
No, so I will be honest, the first time, I don't like being in the room until like I started getting more comfortable towards the end. But that's only because it's so weird. It's such a weird thing to be. It's almost really vulnerable. I don't know.
It's the most vulnerable.
Yeah, then it was nothing. Then it was great. But yes, we'd get up in the morning, we'd have conversation. But our conversation was never led going, what are we gonna write in the album? It was very like, this is on my mind. Like, what is that? How does that make you feel kind of thing?
Yeah, I felt like your personal journal. I was just constantly like.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I was constantly
For
just
life.
writing whatever you said wherever we were. Sometimes you'd be saying something like really important and I would like, I didn't know if you even realized, but I would like always open my phone. I'd be like, fuck, that's such a good line for a song.
I did notice, but I also was very like, you know me, I can just like sit there and talk. So it didn't bother me if that's what you're asking.
You know, I want to talk about Blue as Flame. It's one of those songs where like you immediately feel like you're in a basement, the walls are sweating, it's 4:30 in the morning. Somehow you're kind of sad, but you're happy, it's euphoric. We got to work with Charlie on this song, and she has such a amazing way of putting you just like in an immediate zone. And it's cool because one of our first songs, like probably like 11 years ago or
Yeah.
10 years ago, was Same Old Love, and we did that with Charlie too. And
Yeah, to me, this whole song is Charlie. I just feel like Charlie has this way of having a hypnotic, kind of like really like crazy, cool feeling. And that's what I feel like this song was. It's like a fever dream.